definitely attest to that. I really enjoyed myself, and I'm so sure you did as well. Good football we saw out there. And we'll be starting the show properly to talk about Liverpool. What transpired right there at Anfield. They say they will never walk alone. Looks very possible, right? But everything about Liverpool, I feel like I say, is shaky at the moment. Chelsea came out very strong, and Graham Potter's trying to get everything right. We know how it's not been so easy. Or Todd Boehly coming in to get some of players. So much money has been spent at the club, and everybody feels like it's time for it to just get to pay off. But of course, we know it's not would not be so easy. But first of all, let's talk about Liverpool. Liverpool currently now ninth in the position on the log, 29 points. Chelsea also 29 points adrift. But one thing should be talked about: the way Liverpool play currently. I just would say a whole lot needs to be done. Now, the manager, Jurgen Klopp, started in midfield with a young trio. We saw Bacetic, the man who's 18, a Spaniard guy, pairing right there with Naby Keita and Thiago Alcantara. And everybody felt like, yeah, this team is good enough. But don't forget, he had Jordan Henderson on the bench. There was Fabinho, the Brazilian guy, in the bench as well. And I thought this guy should have started, but the manager knows what he wants for himself. He knows what he wants for his team, and I wouldn't say it paid off, but I feel Liverpool, everything looks very shambolic at the moment. But for Chelsea, what do you have to say about the team who's really trying to grow themselves? If I were to give credit on that very day, I should give it to, Thiago Silva, the Brazilian guy. He's very experienced, looking at his age, pairing with Bernard van der Scheel. Just incredible, you can actually say. Look at the other side, Trevor Chalobah, Kukureya, the manager, Graham Potter. We know everything is not looking right at Chelsea right now, but we just hope to see how it pans out. A whole lot of signing coming in, 7 years deal. People are wondering why the manager, Todd Boehly, the owner rather, is giving a whole lot of signatures, trying to sign in players to spending more years in the club. And you just cannot imagine how he's really saying it. He's signing young players who he feels are really prolific to say. But that day, I just said, I made you understand Chelsea had a very, very good game, regardless of them being down on the table, 10th in the position in the Premier League. Everybody expected Chelsea to be up there, but I would say they did well. They played a very good game. The way they played, I feel the team needs time. It's just going to take time. It's all about time. That's what I feel. Graham Potters know that a whole lot is being involved. If there's anything to talk about Chelsea, I feel maybe the manager needs to work on well with the players. The fact that Todd Boehly had to let Thomas Tuchel leave in the course of the season for me wasn't so right. Well, one thing should be talked about, one thing should be checked about. The way Chelsea play now, what I saw on the weekend against Liverpool, a stalemate, a draw there. Chelsea lost many chances, and I felt like, if they had done well, they should have been there. But it is what it is, like someone would say. But looking at the way Chelsea has been playing so far, I think what we saw by the weekend was the best for me under Graham Potter. I know I'm saying that playing against a very bigger side, Liverpool, we know how it can actually be at Anfield. Liverpool was not just on their A game. Darwin Núñez, I feel like he still needs to, be very, very strong, prolific as well. And then Cody Capo, the man who just made the move from, the Eredivisie, the PSV Eindhoven, still need to understand the team way, the way they play, the philosophy. I understand he's a very wonderful player, wonderful signing, looking at his age, looking at what he does with the ball. You can actually see Cody Capo is the right signing for Liverpool. But something's still missing in the Liverpool box. I feel Liverpool needs that attacking midfielder who can actually get to, create very well. But away from Liverpool news, you already know Chelsea are still struggling, but what I saw by the weekend, if they continue, trust me, I feel they are going to get somewhere. But now let's talk about the one that happened yesterday. Very big game where I saw great football right there at Emirates. It was so interesting to know. You need to know Bukayo Saka has just been one man. I call him the man for the people. You just might not understand what I'm trying to say. But the point is this. Mikel Arteta knows what he wants for his team. Arsenal are just so amazing. Look at the mentality, look at the way they move, look at the drive, look at the energy, look at the age, look at the young boys, look at everything that's been instilled in this guy. So if you want to talk about Arsenal, there's no way you talk about Arsenal without referencing Edu, the sporting director, who has believed on Mikel Arteta. When he came to the club, everybody felt like, come on, Arteta cannot do this job. But right now, you can actually say he's paying off. What did the manager do? He's a Spanish guy. He plays football to an extent. I talked about him a couple of times, how he has been able to, make the move from Real Sociedad when he was 22. He came to England, played under David Moyes. Look at the way he's played. He doesn't want those guys that will really disturb him. When he came to the club, he had to make the likes of Mesut Ozil leave the club. What about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang also left? Now, these guys, the likes of Martin Odegaard, look at the way he plays. The skip up the side, a Norwegian man, very young. He can shoot from the outside. He can score goals. So Arsenal, for me, I think the mentality is high. No disrespect to Manchester United yesterday, but everybody knew United also on form. You just would give it to Erik ten Hag. I mean, this just was missing out in Manchester United team. But I just would not talk more of Man United because right now, Arsenal, you catch me if you can, seems to be the song on the lips of every Arsenal fan all over the world. Arsenal, for me, are just so astonishing. I mean, incredible, magnificent team, doing what they know how to do well. Look at the way they play, look at the mentality, look at Zinchenko sometimes, look at the midfield. When you see them, it looks very highly compact, and at some point, Thomas Partey looked sloppy yesterday, was quite slow. But the fact that Zinchenko, the man who's got 9 major trophies with the City guys, with Manchester City currently playing for Arsenal, has really brought a whole lot of improvement. A great installation in that very team. Look at the way he plays. He comes to the midfield, he joins, he stays, Shaka coming and going. I mean, what more would you say about Arsenal? Currently, they are 50 points already. You could say they are the best team, if not playing the best football in Europe. So I just would give it to Arsenal. Some people out there say Arsenal is yet to play with City and they can't win that game. I wasn't surprised when I was looking at the TV or somewhere. I saw Gary Neville coming up to say Arsenal cannot win the league. Roy Keane also supported him, but Jamie Redknapp and Cesc Fabregas said no. Arsenal has what it takes. And for me, I just would say if they continue this way, trust me, I just would say the sky would not be their limit, but possibly their stepping stone. But away from the English Premier League this time, let's just talk about the La Liga Saturday. What's really going on? Barcelona, I feel like it's paying off right now. Xavi Hernandez coming in all the way, at the club now. You can say he has been, the better word to say, I think amazing is better word to say. Look at the way he has groomed those young players. Look at the way he has made them understand themselves. Look at the gel. Look at the young midfield. Look at Sergio Busquets, how experienced he can actually be. Look at Pedri. Look at Gavi. When you watch them play, Rafinha, Lewandowski, I just can't call this guy's name. You just know Xavi looks to be the right man. Why am I saying this? I mean, he's a traditional coach. He knows about the tiki-taka. He knows about the philosophy. He knows about the nitty-gritty about Barcelona. And it's really paying off right now. So Real Madrid seems to be, not, I wouldn't want to use the word outstanding, but ever since Casemiro left, Tchouaméni has not really been on his A game. We know how, he did well, but looking at the way they play, the throw are no more compactable to say. Toni Kroos struggling, Luka Modric is struggling as well. Then Tchouaméni have been out. So we've seen a couple of times Federico Valverde, the Uruguayan guy, coming to the midfield to work. Yesterday, they played away from home. They won 2-0 against Athletic Bilbao. Was a great result. Karim Benzema, the Ballon d'Or winner, was so there at that point. But just don't forget, 3 points now. Barcelona are still on top of the Spanish La Liga Santander, and they are doing very well. Let's talk about the Bundesliga. I just would talk about Bundesliga. Bayern Leverkusen are still low, but Bayern Munich is on top. Bayern Munich is just a team. Everybody knows that when you talk about the German Bundesliga, you could reference them. They've got a wonderful manager, but they just have to be very, careful. They just set a 5 points. Union Berlin, Frankfurt, and Freiburg are just there waiting for them to sleep. These teams are just scored at 30 points, while Bayern is on the 35 points. But looking at the German Bundesliga, one man seems to be in the news. The best number 10, if I should say, is Jude Bellingham. Did you see his goal yesterday? You needed to see the way he struck the ball from the outside, and that was great from a man who is just barely 19. And everybody in England wants him to come back home. I don't know how that's going to really be, but I just would wish him all the very best. On the analysis time, let me get to let you know again what's going on in the Serie A. We saw great football yesterday. 3-3, Juventus played at home against Atalanta. And when you talk about Atalanta, you could say Lookman has been so amazing. Just a wonderful player. But Milik, Angel Di Maria, Fagioli, Locatelli, look at these guys, Mackenzie, they've got a wonderful team. Allegri, Massimo, the manager. But Juventus looks to be the old ladies, like they call them in Turin. Yesterday, they looked very good in the first half, but when they came back to the second half, they had a very bad, slow game. The game was quite slow. Rabiot wasn't able to give out those passes. But right now, one thing she talked about, Napoli are topping the league with 50 points. And our own very man, talk about Victor Osimhen, who is a very young player. I've been following the Victor Osimhen right from Rochelle Leroy in the Belgian league. Watched him out play in the French League One as well. And now he's in Napoli. He's been in the news. A couple of clubs want to get to sign him. And look at the way he plays. He's just got 13 goals now, and that's just incredible for a player of his class. So I feel Victor Osimhen needs to continue. And if he does win the if he does win the Serie A, I would say possibly he might just be the African best player. He's got 13 goals now. Lookman's still chasing him. So that's what happens when a Nigerian guy is doing very well out there. We just have something to say about Victor Osimhen. But on the talk, on the show, on the Sports Hub, let's quickly round up by talking about the League One. What's going on? Paris Saint-Germain are just there. Possible after the World Cup. We've not really seen them being at the very top. But look at Lens are really chasing Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi returned back from the World Cup, winning the World Cup. He has just been good in what he does, but I just would say they need to be very careful because Lens is really coming up. We've got Marseille also, wonderful teams out there, Lorient, Monaco, trying to stop them. And so we just expect something very great to see how it comes out to be. Again, Tottenham also, for me, I would say they've not really been at their A game. The manager speculations out there saying that he might be leaving, England. Thomas Tuchel might be in the news, but the club have come to say it's a no. And I feel the club wants this man, the Italian guy, to put pen to paper, get to sign a deal, but he's just saying he might leave England. I mean, he wants to be close to his family, and that's just the speculation coming up, talking about Antonio Conte. But the way they play off late has not been so incredible because they look like a team struggling. All the buyers, all the players who have come into the club is still trying to get to gel, trying to blend, trying to come to be together. Harry Kane has not really been in his A game. Look at Kluvetsky. I think Kluvetsky is the man who returned, and ever since he came back, I think the team is trying to gel again, but it will only take time. Visi Bissouma, Eric Dyer, the way they have the team, Antonio Conte said he wants more money. And, Daniel Levy, how he can actually be the chairman of the club, would not give you so much money to sign more players because he's not really seen results. But let's see how it goes on the January transfer. We'll go. But let's talk about transfers on the show. A quick one. Nicolo Zaniolo seems to be a man who might be making his move to the North London side, talking about Tottenham. You know why? Because Jose Mourinho has said if you want to get to sign him, you have to come up with the real money. So if that move will be, then possibly Hakim Ziyech, the man who did well under Walid Regragui in the World Cup, the Moroccan guy, would be going the other way. Talking about Hakim Ziyech. So he might be making the move away from Chelsea, possibly, but I'll be giving you that update as it unfolds. And Arsenal has signed Jacob Kiwior from the Spezia side from the Italian league. Arsenal have got to sign a man. He's a very quality player. Edu is really doing business. They've got Trossard, the Jacob Kiwior, also another player. He watched the game where Arsenal won Manchester United right at the Emirates. So it's been a wonderful transfer time. And Trossard, ever since he made a move to Arsenal, you can actually say he came in late yesterday, but while he came in, we saw the change. He wears the number 19 shirt, and I would say Arsenal, I think they're doing business well. Not to say Todd Boehly is not really spending the money well, but Todd Boehly, I'll tell you, all this contract, you see him spending the money, some people feel like he's missing out, he's not getting a deal, right? But I just want to let you know something about transfers. If you get to sign a player who you're giving a 7-year contract, what happens next is he gets to play to his peak. And when you want to sign him off, you have to buy the player and buy the contract. That's where this man comes in. That's where the business comes. A whole lot of people out there don't see from that view. They are feeling Chelsea signing. They've got Bernard Banashil, 7 years. Modric, Mikhailo Modric, the Ukrainian guy from Shakhtar Donetsk, 7 years. I mean, more contract, more years. And also talk about, another wonderful guy they got now. The money is just being spent in Chelsea. Fofana and Wesley Fofana as well. We know the big money from Leicester City. But this can actually pay off. So it builds down and also boils down to the manager, Graham Potter. Does he really have what it takes to take Chelsea to the next phase? Does he really have what he needs to do with the club? Can he really object? Can he really bring out the best from the team? Now, Memphis Depay also moving to Atletico Madrid. It's another deal that we should talk about. Memphis Depay, everybody feels like he has lost it. He feels like they say leave the club for Barcelona. But now Diego Simeone getting to sign players who we feel out there are wasted players. But no, he's going to really bring out the best in this guy again. We saw him at the World Cup, how good he was for the Dutch side under Louis van Gaal, and that has been so great. So transfers has just been so amazing. Look at the signings. Look at the way clubs are really getting players. Sarabia moves to Wolverhampton has been great. Chelsea, their signings. I think if I want to talk about Chelsea, I love the Modric signing. We know it was a snatch out. We know it was a snatch out from Arsenal, but they were sleeping. Look at the way he plays. Look at his quality. Look at the way he brings the ball. Look at the way he moves. I just would say it's been a very wonderful one for Chelsea, but time will tell if Chelsea can actually get it right. All right, this is a wrap on Sport Hub on VOP TV. My name is Kizzy K. We'll be back by Wednesday to tell you more of the transfers and other sports away from football.